Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the teleclass of grade 9 business studies. I am Veena Ali from Imadyan School. Today we are going to start a new topic, section 2, organization and management. Last two classes we have already covered motivation, the whole topic. Students, you have to go back and read that topic very carefully so that you can understand it better. Today we are going to start the new lesson. In this lesson, students, you will understand the meaning of organizational structure, functional departments, hierarchy, span of control and chain of command. In addition to that, we are going to discuss the advantages or the benefits of organizational structure and the difference between toll structure and the flat structure. Now, we are going to see the definition of organizational structure. So, the definition of organizational structure is the formal internal framework of the business that shows how it is managed and organized. It also shows the levels of management and the division of responsibilities of each and every organization. Students, you should know that each and every organization, they have this organizational structure. After reopening the school, you can check whether your school is having this particular structure. So, the next one is functional department. So, this is what actually the business do in the organization, what they carry out, how they have assigned their task. So, functional departments are the main activities of business. It includes financing, marketing, human resource, operations and research and development of the business. So, all these comes under functions of the business or the organization. Next, we are going to see the simple chart of functional department. It is just summarized. So, company A, it has these departments: marketing department, finance department, human resource department, operations and R&D. So, you know what is marketing. Marketing department is responsible for promoting and marketing all the activities that they are doing in the organization. Finance department, they will be responsible for all the financial activities, including the loans as well as other source of finance that they are going to get for the business. Human resource department is responsible for all the works that is related to the employees of the organization. Okay. Then operations, it includes the all the works that are related in the production area. The last one is R&D department. R&D, it refers to research and development. So, it carries out research and development about the products, what happens in the market, how they are developing the new products, what customer taste and fashions are changing. All these activities will be carried out by the research and development department. So, here is a detailed organizational chart. This is in large organization. First one is for very simple organization, it is very simple chart, but this one include, this is large organization. For huge organization, they have this type of chart. So, here it is CEO, Chief Executive Officer, then under CEO there are a lot of directors. Those functional departments are here that we have just now discussed. Financial director, that is in finance department, HR director in human resource department, marketing director in marketing department, operation management director in operation and so on. So, under each department there are again managers are assigned. So, finance department or finance director, here is accountant, under accountant there is a credit controller, cashier. So, each and every department they have managers, supervisors or directors accordingly. So, human resource department, recruitment manager is there, training manager is there, then under recruitment administrator, marketing director, under marketing director sales manager, so under sales manager 6 sales staff. So, this is for a very huge and large organization, they have these type of structures. But is when compared to smaller businesses, they have small structures. Now, let us see the main features of organizational chart. Just now we have just compared the large structure and a small structure. Let us see what are the features of organizational chart. First one is hierarchy. Hierarchy is the number of levels in the organization. Each level has a different degree of authority. Here the number of levels means they have different layers in the organization, isn't it? Just now I have showed you a diagram or the structure that also have different levels. So let us see the diagram. So see, these are the levels. In hierarchy means the different levels in the organization. So these horizontal lines shows the different levels in the organizational structure. Students, you have to remember, when we are asked to identify the levels of the organization, you have to make sure that you can count the number of these horizontal levels, so that easily you can identify the number of levels in the organization. But you have to remember that you have to include CEO as one level, or the top manager, or the as a one level. So here we can say it is 1, then we can start from this horizontal line. So this is the second level, then here it is the third level, and here it is fourth level, and the lower level, production workers, this is the fifth level. So in this diagram we can see 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 levels. So we call the hierarchy as a different levels. Then next one is chain of command. Chain of command is actually how authorities or instructions are passed from top management to the lower levels of employees. So chain of command is the route through which authorities is passed down through an organization. That means CEO or the manager or the owner of the organization, he cannot do all the tasks by himself. So he has to assign all the works to different managers, different directors, supervisors. So these authorities or these instructions are coming from top level to the lower levels. That is we called chain of command. Students, you have to keep in mind these terms. These are very important. The definition of each and every term is very important. So here is also again an example of a structure. So this is I want make you to understand it better. So the top one is chief executive in this one. So chief executive is the top one. Then here comes the directors, managers, supervisors and number of workers in here. So when you see this diagram or this pyramid, you can see at the top level there are few people, few employees, isn't it? When it comes to the lower or when it comes to the down of the pyramid, you can see a lot of employees in here. It means the chief executive officer or CEO cannot control or monitor all the works of these employees. That's why we need a middle management here. That's why they have employed directors, managers and supervisors here. So those are the levels, understood. Then larger organization, they do have a lot of workers, and smaller organization, they have small number of or few number of employees. So here comes again the continuation of hierarchy, main features of the organizational chart. First already I have explained the hierarchy and the chain of command. Those are the two features, and the remaining two features of the organizational structure is delegation and span of control. Delegation already we have discussed in last topic that we have discussed. Do you remember that about motivation? We have discussed how workers are motivated in Herzberg's theory. That also we have discussed in delegation. Delegation means giving authorities to the subordinates to perform a particular task. So in delegation, employees feel that they are important, they will do work. So by delegating the task, managers have to make sure that they are monitoring, they are controlling the task, and they have to check whether the employees are completing the task. If not, if employees are not completed the task, means the managers has to take the blame of that. Next one is span of control. Span of control is the number of subordinates reporting to each supervisor or manager. Means that we have to know that the number of workers who is directly working under a particular manager, that is we call span of control. Within his limit, within his control, how many workers are working in the organization, that is we call span of control. Let us see an example through a case study, how these organizations, how they are improving the structure, how they are going to develop the structure of an organization. Let us see this case study. So here the Cozy Corner convenience store is owned and managed by Bill Murray. It is a sole trader business. Bill has no employees, so he himself is working alone in the organization. He works a long day, that means 12 hours usually. As he works alone in the business, he has to do all the jobs which are involved in running a busy convenience store. Here is the list of just 6 of his tasks. This is only for one single manager or one single owner what he is doing in his organization. The first one is ordering new stock, serving customers, going to the bank to pay in cash, that is also in particular day in a week, arranging shelf display, then keeping all the paperwork up to date, then contacting the local newspaper. So in this type of organization, this is a sole trader, he is doing all the work by himself. For him, we don't need any structure or we don't need any roles and responsibilities given to any other employees, as he is working himself. Let's see how he is developing his organization, how he is expanding his organization. So it is continuation. Bill was exhausted as he is doing all the tasks, just now we have discussed. As he is doing all the tasks, he was exhausted. It was the end of another long day. He had decided during the day that he could no longer do all the tasks. When Bill feels that he is not able to do all the tasks, then he is going to advertise for a shop assistant. This is how they are going to increase how they are going to expand the business. Bill remembered from his previous job working for a large retail chain that it was important to make clear the tasks and responsibilities of employees. He knows what task employees are going to do and what can the support staffs or what other employees are able to do in the organization. If this was not done, then 2 people might end up doing the same work. He knows that he has to list down all the activities doing that the new employee is going to do and the work he is going to do. If he is not listing it, that means both of them will end up doing the same task, isn't it? So he has decided now to take another employee. Then let's see. Now the business has expanded rapidly after employing that person. Now the business has expanded rapidly as he is selling a lot of goods and services, as the customers have built trust towards that shop. Now the business has expanded rapidly. More employees had been appointed. Some of them managed the shops because Bill spent more time on office work. Now he has distributed all his works to different employees. Now he is more concentrated on admin work. Shop opening hours were lengthened. That means now more time is needed for them to keep the shop open. Eventually Bill decided to open for further stores in other towns. That means he need his business to expand. That means other businesses, other stores will be open in different areas of the country or the town. That means he need additional employees, isn't it?
Mammati asli mage dammarutiye aliko ding mage
Now this is the sample of how Bill has managed, how he has drawn his organizational structure. Let's see how it is drawn. First one is chief executive. He is the owner, isn't it? Bill is the owner. Now he has distributed his task. By drawing this chart, we can easily identify who is responsible for which department, isn't it? So marketing director is there, finance director is there, and human resource director is there. So under each director, again Bill has employed other staffs. So Marketing director, there are store managers, purchasing managers, and under financial director there is bookkeeper, human resource director there is administration assistant. So, these are all the employees of Bill now. He has drawn his structure. Before he was operating single, when he was doing his business by himself, he did not draw a organizational structure, because there is no need for drawing an organizational structure as he is doing the work by himself. Now, he has employed a lot of staff, he thinks that he need a structure. So, this is the structure of Bill. Let us see how those functional, those features, organizational features are there or not. We have discussed, isn't it, those features in organizational structure. Those features are hierarchy, functional departments, then chain of command and span of control. We have discussed all these. So, now we are going to see all these features are there in this structure. Let us see hierarchy. Hierarchy means number of levels, isn't it? We are going to see, is there any levels in the organizational structure? Yes, there is, right? Chief Executive Bill. Bill is the first level. Remember, when we are counting the number of level, we have to include the CEO or the owner of the, that shown in the diagram, in the structure. So, Bill is the one level, then the other level is marketing director, finance director and human resource director. Those who are in the same level, so finance, marketing, human resource, they are in the same level. That means they have same degree of authority and same degree of responsibility. Remember that those who are in the same degree, they have same degree of authority and responsibility. So, this is the second level, then this is the third level, horizontal line is there, isn't it? So, under marketing director there is store manager and purchasing manager. So, this is the third level, isn't it? First is Bill, then all these directors, then third one is managers, and fourth is assistant store manager, fifth is shop workers. So, how many levels are there now? So, as we have counted, we identified 5 levels. So, if a question asks identify the levels of hierarchy, then you can count 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So, total 5 levels are there in this hierarchy, understood. Then functional departments. How many functional departments are there? Shall we count? Marketing director, so that means in marketing department. Finance director, that means in financial department. Human resource director, that means it is in human resource department, understood. So, total 3 functional departments are there. Then chain of command. This also we discussed. Chain of command means it is how authorities are passed from top level to the lower levels of the employees. So, chain of command we can identify through vertical lines. Remember that hierarchy we identify through horizontal lines, but chain of command we can identify this vertical lines here. So, we can understand how these authorities are passed from top to the lower levels. For example, Bill can't send the messages directly to the shop workers. Do you know why? Because Bill is under Bill there are a lot of directors, and under those directors there are a lot of other staffs. So, Bill has to give messages directly to these 3 directors. So, those directors, they have to give messages or they have to communicate with their staffs who are within their span of control. So, chain of command from Bill has to give orders to the marketing director, then marketing director, we can see this vertical line, isn't it? So, marketing director is giving this communication, this route is going to store manager. So, store manager is again giving the communication or giving the instruction to the assistant store manager. After getting this store managers, then he only give the task or the instruction to the shop workers. So, that is how chain of command is going from top to the bottom, understood. The last one is span of control. Span of control is the number of subordinates who are working directly under one manager. Remember, directly they are working. For example, students, can you tell me the span of control of marketing director? It won't be shop workers, isn't it? Because marketing director is not directly controlling these shop workers. He is directly controlling store manager and purchasing manager. So, when you are asked to write this span of control, you have to make sure that whether that director or manager is controlling those employees directly or not. So, the span of control of this marketing director is store manager and purchasing manager. Understood? It is clear, isn't it? So, these hierarchy, the features are there in this organizational chart. So, if you ask to write the features of the organizational chart, now I am sure you are able to write these features, that is hierarchy, chain of command, span of control, plus you can write delegation also. Now, we are moving to tall or flat structure. So, in an organization there are two types of structures, students. So, the two types of structures are tall structure and flat structure. So, here the example of two type of structures. First we are going to see business A. So, in this business, here a lot of layers are here, that means levels, hierarchies are there. So, first we are going to count the number of levels, that means hierarchy we are going to see. So, from the top level CEO or the manager, then the second level is here, means these two person, then this is the third level, this is in orange color, and the fourth level is here. So, those who are, as I have mentioned before, those who are in the same level, they have same degree, those same degree of authority. Those who are in different levels, they have different degrees of authority. So, the person who here in the orange color, the authority and the responsibilities differ from those who are in this level, this purple color. Understood? So, those tall structure means it has more levels in the organizational structure. So, when we count this 1, 2, 3, 4, this structure has mainly 4 levels. Shall we move to the next one? Business B. In this structure we can see 1, 2, 3 levels. So, when compared to the first one, it has less or few levels. So, meaning is tall structure they have more levels, flat structure they have less levels. So, when we compare to the chain of command, we have to compare all those features when we compare to the tall and flat structure. Remember, if you are asked to write the difference or if you are asked to write the distinguish or to compare tall structure and flat structure, you can identify those features and you can compare those features in both diagrams. Understood? Shall we look at in detail the tall structure? Okay. Tall organizations may have many levels, just now we have seen that. They have many levels means more hierarchy levels are there. Each level in the hierarchy except for the bottom of the level is a layer of management. Bottom levels, that means there will be employees. So, between CEO in the top below or the bottom level there will be middle management. Then tall organizational structure has several layers, that means managers, and tall structure means their span of control will be narrow, that we will discuss. The span of control will be narrow, that we will discuss. The chain of command is long, that means from top to the bottom the chain, the number of levels are more means it is difficult for them to get the messages. So, the chain is longer means the chain of command is long. Then communication and decisions are often slower because they must pass through several layers. This we will discuss using a structure. This is a structure for again a larger organization. We are going to see this is a tall structure. So, first we are going to see the levels. Already we have discussed about the levels. So, chain of command from here we can say CEO, human resource director to the recruitment manager, to the recruitment manager to the recruitment administrator. So, this is how instructions are passed from top to the lower levels, that is chain of command. So, taller structure means chain of command is longer and many levels. In this diagram there are many levels, isn't it? And as well as the chain of command is longer, isn't it? Then about span of control. The previous slide I have it is shown that span of control is narrow. It means under one manager few levels, few employees are working. Okay. Span of control narrow means there are two, when we discuss about these two structures, span of control will be narrow as well as wide. When we compare to the flat structure to the tall structure, span of control will be narrow, meaning that under one manager few employees will work in tall structure. That means their span of control is narrow. So for example, I am asking you, what is the span of control of accountant? Span of control of accountant is credit controller and cashier. So only 2 person is here. So each manager, few workers are there. That means it is narrow span of control. So students, don't confuse this span of wide span of control with narrow span of control. It is a little bit confusing. A flat organizational structure. Flat organizations have fewer level of hierarchy. As I have mentioned before, few levels are there. That means the levels will be very few, which means chain of command is very short. Chain of command is short. Large organizations, it means they have many levels. Chain of command is longer. But if it is a flat structure, the levels are few. Then communication and decision makings are much quicker in flat structure. It is because they have only very few layers. They can easily send the message, they can take feedback. But in case of tall structure, it will be difficult as they have many layers, isn't it? Then there are fewer managers in flat structure, so the span of control is wide. Few manager means only under one manager there will be a lot of workers, a lot of employees working under that particular manager. So this is an example of flat organizational structure. Under managing director there are a lot of staffs, isn't it? So it is we called wide span of control. Narrow span of control means few employees are working under one manager. Okay. Wide span of control means more employees are working under one manager. Don't confuse these two. Okay. Then it is the difference. This is what we have discussed. I have summarized and put them in a table, so it will be easy for you to compare it. So tall and flat structure, in tall structure more levels, flat structure it is few levels. Then tall structure long chain of command as they have many levels. Flat structure it is just opposite, short chain of command as they have fewer levels. Then tall structure narrow span of control, meaning few employees are working under one manager. Flat structure wide span of control means under one manager more employees are working under him. Then tall structure slow decision making as they have many layers. Flat structure faster decision making as they have few levels. They can ask feedback and they can the communication will be faster. In here communication is slow, it will take time for them to receive the messages as well. So here comes the end of today's lesson, and going to summarize today's lesson. So we have understood the organizational structure, that is it shows the levels of management and division of responsibilities. And functional department, you have seen different departments of the organization, that is HR department, then operational department, finance department, so a lot of departments are there. Then chain of command, it also we have discussed, that is how authorities are passed from top to the lower levels of the employees. Then span of control, this also we have discussed, that is the number of subordinates who are working under a manager, directly under a manager, remember that, directly controlling. Then delegations, it is giving authority to the employees to perform a particular task. Then also we have highlighted the difference between tall structure and flat structure. I hope you understood all these topics you have understood clearly. So before I am concluding the lesson, I am going to give you a past paper question. It is very easy. So it is a multinational company. So here is the diagram structure of the company, Zalfa Multinational. This is a past paper question. So you can go through this question, and here are the questions. Using the figure, you have to identify the span of control of managing director of Asia division. How many levels are there in the chain of command? That means how many levels are there in the chain of, so that means you have to identify the hierarchy number of levels in the organization. So what is meant by span of control? Just now we have discussed. What is meant by the term organizational structure? Only for 2 marks questions I have given. So it is very easy, students. Stay home and you can do these questions, and if you have any doubt you can ask your business teachers. After completing it also you can send to your business teachers to correct the answers. That's it for today's lesson. I hope you all got the I hope you have understood all the lessons we have discussed here, and thank you for listening.